viewers started calling us when they were not getting car titles from KB Motorsports here in Springfield.
KY3's Ashley Reynolds did some digging and has the answers. Ashley?
Customers say they drove off the lot with their new ride and never received their title. They've tried to reach the salesman, but with no luck. So we went to the car lot, and here's what we found. KB Motorsports in East Springfield has an empty lot with a sign on the door stating, "We'll be back Tuesday." But clearly, this shop is not open.
So I called and the phone was disconnected.
Greg Branderhorst is a farmer and bought a truck in May.
I bought a 06 Ford F350 dually.
$25,000, and he can't drive it with no title.
It seemed like a legit deal until I went to title it and all the paperwork didn't have a title. And so then I called them and that's when they started, well, it's running behind. And then it was a lost title.
So here he is, fed up with no answers, hoping to talk to the salesman.
I'd like to find them.
I just happened to be driving by and I saw you.
This is him, Brandon Grimm, the man customers say they've been trying to reach for days. He agreed to talk with us.
I should have listened to my wife to begin with and not start a business in the middle of the recession. And probably in hindsight, I tried to go too big, too fast, and it just came up and bit me. But you know, it is what it is.
He says he couldn't pay the bills.
We just couldn't cover our interest payments due to finance companies, as well as our lease here at the big building. Business has slowly been declining over the last few months. And then we received a couple bad checks at the end of last week. We couldn't make those right, and the finance companies were taking their cars that they had on the lot, so without any cars, we didn't have a reason to have the lots.
Grimm says he's trying to make things right with his customers and close his business.
Just get those feelings as a failure.
As for Branderhorst, he wants out of the mess.
What am I going to do with the truck now? Can't afford to buy another one, and making a truck payment on that one and kind of up a creek.
Grimm says all the customers should have their title by next week. And as for the phone line, Grimm says he has a working number now. Consumer advocates say you should never leave a car dealership without the title.
The Attorney General's office is looking into those complaints about a Springfield used car dealership.
And Contact KY3's Ashley Reynolds is here with more. Ashley?
Last week, we told you about KB Motorsports not giving car titles to customers. Well, some have waited since May. The general manager told us he couldn't pay the bills and he was forced to close the business. Workers with the Attorney General encourage customers to fill out a formal complaint. The Springfield Police Department has also received reports from victims.
We'd encourage anyone that has any relation to this case to go ahead and file a report with the police department. It can't hurt anything for us to have any extra information about the case.
In tonight's Contact KY3, the search for titles and answers involving a used car dealer who's locked up shop.
Ashley Reynolds first told us about people who never got the titles to the cars they paid for months ago. And Ashley, are they still waiting?
Well, the general manager told me his customers would have those titles by tonight. We checked, and they still don't. It all started with a disconnected phone line and fed up customers at KB Motorsports hoping to get answers.
I'd like to find them.
I just happened to be driving by and I saw
Owner Brandon Grimm showed up and explained he's closing the business because he can't pay the bills.
I feel a lot of guilt, a lot of shame.
He told us the titles would be given soon.
ASAP. Like I said, I'm forwarding the title company's contact information, and they have guaranteed me that they'll be overnighting them to him right away. So hopefully very quickly.
So
yes.
by next week?
Oh, absolutely.
The following week, still no titles. Now victims are taking the matter into their own hands.
I hope that criminal charges are pressed against him, and I hope that we all get our titles.
I hope he goes to jail.
We met up with Dale and Mary Krim at the Springfield Police Department. They're here to file a complaint.
Well, they told us it would take about 10 days to get them to us. And after the 10th day, we started calling, and they came up with many, many excuses, and we still do not have any titles.
They bought two vehicles for nearly $30,000 in July. They drove one of their new cars here and say they don't have a choice but to drive illegally.
And we don't have a different car because I traded my car in. I just carry all my paperwork with me and hope that if I am stopped that they'll believe my story.
Let me see what you got going on. It will be forwarded on to a detective.
After filing a report, they went to KB Motorsports to try to talk to an employee, but instead found another victim. I called the number listed on the door.
It's Ashley Reynolds with KY3.
No luck. Then I returned today.
I'm just calling to get an update on the title situation.
Still an empty lot, but this time there's a letter from City Utilities. A representative tells us they're dealing with a delinquent bill.
It's very serious.
Consumer advocates say it's time for victims to take legal action.
The most immediate issue is that they either get a title to the vehicle or they return the vehicle and get their money back so that they can then go purchase a vehicle where they're going to get an actual title. That's a prerequisite to the valid sale of a vehicle in the state of Missouri.
The Crims have filed reports with the police and Attorney General.
I feel like I can go to the prosecutor's office now and get something accomplished.
And again, we have tried several times to contact Brandon Grimm, the owner of KB Motorsports. He's not returned our phone calls. The Attorney General's office says they're still looking into this case as the police department continues to take complaints.
Car title troubles. It is a story we first brought you that got the Attorney General's attention.
And Contact KY3's Ashley Reynolds is here tonight on the latest about the missing paperwork at KB Motorsports. Ashley.
A few customers tell us they have finally received their car titles. Our investigation started in early September when customers of KB Motorsports complained they waited weeks and some even months for titles from the used car dealership in Springfield. After the report aired, the Attorney General started to look into the situation. Workers with the AG's office won't answer any questions but tell us their investigation is ongoing. Springfield police continue to take complaints.